The stars of NBA TV's 2026 NBA Draft Expert Panel. John Fanta. John, great to see you again. Thanks for hanging out with us on the association. Got a lot we want you to get to, so I'm not going to waste any time. We've got to start with the big news. Starting the week, a new head coaching hire, the Dallas Mavericks bringing in Dusty May, a Michigan man, now in the NBA, fresh off a national championship with the Wolverines. What is your read on this hire?
Well, it's a home run for the Dallas Mavericks, Stephen, and it's great to see you. For the Mavericks, they were looking for someone who could usher in the Cooper Flagg era in full force. Obviously, we got a taste of it with him as a rookie. They make a change. And look, you bring in Dusty May, who 3 years ago had Florida Atlantic University in the Final Four. Florida Atlantic had never even won an NCAA tournament game. This guy worked under Bob Knight as a student manager at Indiana. He knows work ethic. He knows how to win. And he took the Michigan Wolverines and snapped a 26-year championship drought in the Big Ten. And he did it with a payroll. Like college basketball, the coach is now the CEO. They are the general manager. Dusty May did an unbelievable job of evaluating talent because he could have 3 lottery picks in Tuesday night's NBA draft. So for the Mavs, it's an outstanding move. Dusty May knows how to deal with a college-aged kid. Cooper Flagg is still quite young. Dusty's got the right demeanor. I think it's a slam dunk for the Mavs. It certainly puts Michigan in a unique and challenging spot for it to come this late in June. The timing of it absolutely stunned me. This was a shocking move after you win a national championship, but the NBA got better, Cooper Flagg got better today, and the Dallas Mavericks certainly will benefit from this. I think Dusty May will be in the NBA a long time.
Now, you alluded to May's roster in Ann Arbor having potentially 3 lottery picks. The Mavericks have 1 lottery pick as we sit here and talk right now. That's the 9th overall selection. Masai Ujiri, he's built a championship roster in the NBA before, so it's not like he needs to go, hey, Dusty, what do you think? But he's going to have some input. Do you believe in any one of those 3 Wolverines in particular, whether it's Mata or Lindeborg or anybody else, or even Burry's Arizona? He coached against him in the Final Four.
For sure. And Masai Ujiri does know how to get an NBA championship contending roster together, but it's a nice benefit that he could talk to Dusty May, who knows this draft class better than anybody. This is one of the best draft classes that we've had in the last 30 years. There's people talking about it like the 1996 draft with Allen Iverson, Ray Allen, Steve Nash, and Kobe Bryant. All this to say, of the 3 Michigan guys that are out there, the one to me that I can't stop looking at is Aday Mara. And I know that Cooper Flagg is a guy who's going to play, in the front court and do a lot of different things in the interior. And yeah, he could space the floor as well, but he's going to put the ball on the floor. The fact is, he's an interchangeable player. He could play all 5 positions. He certainly can defend all 5 positions. Aday Mara is the guy that I look at that if he's on the board for the Mavs, why not? Why not continue to bolster your front court? Mara is an elite rim protector. He is well over 7 feet tall, and he is an outstanding defensive player. Yaxel Lendeborg certainly carries a lot of intrigue and a lot of upside. He's an All-American player who his stat line the year prior to him arriving to Michigan, Stephen, the only guy in college basketball that had a stat line the same as his was Cooper Flagg. The thought of them being teammates is certainly intriguing. And let's not forget about Morez Johnson Jr.
Right.
Dusty May told me Morez Johnson Jr. was the heart and soul of the team this past year. Dusty's voice is going to matter in the room. You get a leader, a guy who's also terrific defensively, a guy who's grown his offensive skill set quite a bit. The fact is, Dallas, I know Kyrie Irving, we could talk about their future plans and what their future looks like in the backcourt. And I understand this is a guard-heavy draft, and if Brayton Burries is there or if Kingston Flemings is somehow still there, Dallas could do a lot worse. They have a nice luxury. Anybody picking 5 to 10 in this draft is in a great spot because of the depth of talent in the class. But don't be surprised if a Michigan Wolverines follows Dusty May. They could do a lot worse. In fact, it would be a good move for them. There's to me, with where Dallas is, Cooper Flagg could play alongside anybody.
All right, I want you to zoom out now and then take us into the weeds and find the sleeper of this 2026 draft.
Well, for me, there's two. And the first one is Cameron Carr out of Baylor. He transferred from Tennessee, and he is a high-level, high-scoring guard who really improved under Scott Drew at Baylor this past year. Just got to his spots so well, is a jet in transition, can flat out score it from anywhere, averaged 19 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists per game. And he's evolved the perimeter shot. Was a 28% shooter as a freshman, Steven. That's not good enough to get drafted. Since then, he's hovered around 40%. The NBA is a scoring league. Cameron Carr showed up to the combine. Nobody helped themselves more during the draft combine than Cameron Carr. He balled out, and he showed that he can do it at the next level. He is one. Number two, remember one Jalen Williams out of Santa Clara?
Oh, yeah.
Playing for Coach Nick and the Broncos. I'll tell you what, they've got another guy, and that would be Allen Graves. Allen Graves is a stud. He's 6'8". If you look at efficiency, Allen Graves is among the most efficient players in this class. Another guy who can score it from a variety of levels. He's a capable defender. He can defend multiple positions on the court, and he knows how to play the game. His feel for the game is why Santa Clara almost beat Kentucky, and frankly should have beaten Kentucky in the NCAA tournament. And if they win that game, we're talking a lot more about Allen Graves. He checks off the boxes, and he's still not done getting better as a player. Those are two guys. I expect them to get picked in the mid-first round, if not a little bit deeper than that, that I say there's value there. There's value for if either of them fell to San Antonio at 20. There's value for the Orlando Magic on this board. There's plenty of teams that are right in that range that could do themselves very well by picking a couple of guys who proved at the college level that they could score it in a variety of ways.
John, one of the reasons I love talking to you on this show, or just in general, is one, not just your knowledge for the game of basketball, but your passion for it. So what excites you the most as you get ready for this draft?
Well, what excites me is what happens at pick number 5, because I think it's going to dictate the tone of the night. Look, we all know A.J. Debonsa, Darren Peterson, Cam Boozer, Caleb Wilson. I expect those 4 in some order. I wouldn't rule out a surprise. I wouldn't rule out Cam Boozer going at number 2 to the Utah Jazz. Like it wouldn't shell shock me. But for me, the Clippers were fortunate. They were fortunate to get this 5th pick. Remember, the Pacers, it was supposed to be their pick.
Yep.
Anytime a team backs into a fortunate situation, and credit to the Clippers, anytime a team finds themselves in that situation, they're in a position of value. Why? Because they can use the pick. Okay, they could pick Keaton Wagler, Darius Acuff, or they could pick Michael Brown. That's great. If I'm LA, I'm looking to trade the pick. I'm looking to trade back a little bit in this draft, and I'm looking to say, okay, I would like a Daimara, or I would like Morez Johnson. I could get him at 9, 10, or 11. I'm going to make a deal. And they certainly could do that. We could see the Bucks. We'll see what they end up doing in this draft. They have a lot to figure out themselves as we're talking and doing this interview.
Right.
But the fact is, what the Clippers do at 5, whether that's keep the pick or trade the pick, there's going to be a trickle-down effect in this class. And where the guards fall, we keep talking about all these guards, Flemings, Brown, and Wagler, and Acuff, and Burries. How do teams value them truly when we get to draft night? That's what fascinates me about this draft.
And always a topic of conversation is what these prospects will be wearing. Do you yourself have something tailored, picked out, ready to roll, John Fanta?
Oh, I have a tailored, ready to go.
Yes.
It's a hint of red.
Just a hint.
It's not going to match. It's not going to match Chris Haynes' sense of style. Okay, I can't compete with that.
Well, that bar's lower than you think. It's lower than you think, John.
I'm going to do my dang best, and I am ready, Steven. I'm not going to sleep tonight. Hair and makeup will be in my home at 4 a.m. I live for draft night.
Yes!
I'm ready for draft night. I can't wait.
Let's go. John Fanta, you can watch him again on the NBA TV's 2026 Draft Expert Panel, and we can't wait to see your coverage throughout this week. John, thanks again for the time, brother.
Stephen, always great to see you.